Greetings, Andy here again. Sort of slightly impromptu video I'm doing here, pulling out 3 sort of new releases I've picked up this year, but they don't quite fit with the others. And I've got a lot of brand new music, new releases this month, so I will be doing probably 2 more of those. These sort of are slightly more unusual. There's new or newish issues, but they're not new music. And you know, you could say, oh, they're all reissues. Not quite. So let me start with the most amazing one, and it is truly brilliant. So I mentioned before, I've got, you know, out of the various subscriptions I've got, Fuzz Club and Rough Trade, which come monthly and are usually interesting. I also have the Third Man Records, so Jack White's Third Man Records, what they call Vault subscription, which are unique records prepared specially for those subscription releases, so they're not available in general stores and so on. And I had a delivery. They come in quite big boxes compared to, you know, it doesn't look like it's a record. And I wasn't really expecting it. I'd sort of like not been paying attention to the emails that reminded me what was coming. And obviously it's comes from the States, so it takes bloody ages. And this box arrived through, you know, the postman delivered this quite big box about that thick. And I was expecting something else, nothing to do with records. So I just sort of would convince myself that's what it was and put it on the table. And I'd left it there for a couple of days. And then when I went to get the thing I was ordering, that I thought I'd got, opened it up, only discover it was a box set of sorts from Third Man Records. And this I reckon is the best one they've done since I've been there. And it is the Jesus and Mary Chain Psycho Candy 40th Anniversary Deluxe Edition. Right, and there is Jim and... is it Jim and William? I think so. Reed on the front, looking very young and with very mid-80s haircuts. Now, this passed me by at the time. I wasn't really, you know, by the I'd been turned off by crap synth pop in the early 80s, and I stopped really listening to much new music then. So this passed me by at the time. But so I you know, and I've never bought it in any particular format. I've heard bits of it on, you know, here and there. And I'm loving this. This is just truly brilliant. It's, you know, I mean, you know, lots of people know them, so, you know, this might be new to me, but not to lots of people I know. But I was, you know, the influence, this must have gone on My Bloody Valentine, you know, so when they produced Loveless 6 years later. It was, you know, it's so heavy, and it comes. So what's in here? So it comes with the reissued album, but it's slightly more than a reissue. And there's all the stuff. Slightly more than a reissue because it is a double album, and it's cut at 45 RPM. And it is. There's a leaflet about it which I'll read a bit of in a minute, but. And it comes in what they call LP1. Whoops, I'll pull this out a bit. Is in what they call Psycho Candy Pink, and then I'm going to come out. And LP2 is in Psycho Candy Blue. I'll just read what it says on here for the techies among us. I'm a bit of a closet techie, but I don't even understand all of this. Anyway, it says, anchoring this set is a 2 LP version of Psycho Candy cut at 45 RPM. It is not hyperbole to say that this might be the loudest cut, not only of this record, but of any record you will ever hear. The high-speed treatment here affords, the Sonics a heretofore unseen clarity in the band's utilisation of controlled feedback and such dynamic range, a record better suited for this treatment you will struggle to find. Crank it loud and it just does not break up. Distortion has never sounded so clear. Cut by Warren Deffer at Third Man Mastering using super high definition 192 kilohertz transfer of the original 1985 mix, and featuring the classic JMC lineup of Jim Reed, William Reed, Douglas Hart, and of course Bobby Gillespie. So I've only played it once because I only opened it up a couple of days ago, and I was stunned. It's the clarity is brilliant. The pressing is absolutely immaculate, and it is just superb. So what else comes with it? Well, I haven't had a chance to listen to this one yet, but there is also a double. I won't get the bits out because they're on black. It's a double of which was done live at St Andrews Hall, Detroit, Michigan, on the 11th of wrong way round, for a Brit, on the 20th of November 1987, and apparently there are 2 tracks on that. I won't go through them all, but there they are. It's a double, as I say. There are 2 tracks on here which appeared on a B-sides thing back in the day, but the rest of the concert, the whole lot, have never been released. On this. As I say, I've got great hopes for that, but I haven't heard it yet. And there is also a 7-inch. Which is in what they call liquid gold. I don't think it is molten gold, but it's the same thing, isn't it? Which is Jesus. Whoops, wrong way around. Sorry, Jesus fuck. I have played this, and that's brilliant. That's a live version. What does it say? Recorded in Amsterdam in 1985. And then there's an acoustic demo of Just Like Honey, and that's really, really nice. So just truly amazing. I mean, they're not always that brilliant, to be honest, but this is just superb, absolutely superb. Let me put that on one side, and then I went to I went into local town where I live, Basingstoke. And popped into the HMV there last weekend. No, Monday actually it was. And to be honest, there are. I live in a desert of sort of independent record stores, despite Basingstoke being a reasonably large town. And the only thing is the HMV chain. So I usually pop in and just have a look and see what's there. And I picked up 2 items, and this one is a new release, and it's called Joy in Repetition by Hot Chip, and it's a best of. Now, so it's a double, and mention it on just on white vinyl, and it's brilliant. Now, I've never bought a record of theirs, but I like hearing them on the radio. So if you don't know them, it's sort of electronic dance music. It's really sort of, this century synth pop, but much better than the 80s synth pop. And I am prone to procrastination, if I'm honest. So, I'm a bit manana at heart. But I've learnt over the years to force myself to do things. So I have this phrase when I'm telling myself off, which is "do it now." And the opening track, "Ready for the Floor," it starts off with "do it now," and it's an earworm. There's barely a day goes past when that doesn't play in my head when I'm telling myself to do it now. And I'm loving this. Again, I've only played it once. I only got it this week, and I don't know all the songs, but I know probably half of them because they've been released on the radio. And this is like. This is a great best of. It's one of those bands that I don't need or want all their records. A best of does me very nicely, and the cover is by painting by Peter Blake. I don't know whether I don't know whether it's been done bespoke or whether they've used Peter Blake cover. I don't know. Now, it's a shame really because it is Hot Chip, but. One of the members of Hot Chip is Joe Goddard, and Joe Goddard produced, nearly 20 years ago, 15, 20 years ago anyway, what I think is one of the best singles of this century in Gabriel. I absolutely adore that, and I wish that was on here. I don't buy singles, and I don't really want a Joe Goddard album, but it's such a pity they haven't put Gabriel on here, because it is brilliant. And as I say, I hear that on the radio. I absolutely adore it, and it. If I had to name singles, so I'm thinking singles here played on the radio rather than pure album tracks. And that is just superb. Anyway, I'm rabbiting on. We move on. On the third album, which again I picked up when I went into HMV, and this is one I had on CD back in the day and absolutely adored, and it was just there in front of me as a reissue, remaster just produced, and it is Feeder, Comfort in Sound, and this is the 2025 remaster. So I don't know whether it's just out this month, but it's out this year, and it's very resplendent on something blue. I forgot what do they call? I can't remember what they called it. Aquamarine blue, I think. And I love these, and these. It's interesting. We're going around the UK really because, of course, the Reed brothers come from Glasgow, Hot Chip come from London, and Feeder come from Newport in South Wales. And Newport is where my dad and my paternal line go back generations. My dad was of the left there. As a young adult, and so I was not born in there, but on my ancestry DNA, I am more Welsh than anything else, apparently, according to that. Anyway, what's that got to do with it? Absolutely nothing. It's an apropos of nothing. But the album is brilliant. This is early OOs. I think it came out originally in 2002. Indie rock. Masterpiece. It's one of the great. I mean, there were so many. I'm I'm slowly coming to the conclusion that in a lot of ways, the OOs, are my favourite decade of just sheer quantity and quality of music. That I would normally say, well, it's the 70s and it's between the 70s and the 90s, but. Increasingly I go back to the OOs and think, this is just brilliant. I've got so much good music from there, and this is one of them, and I wanted it on vinyl. So there you go. That's me rabbiting on. So next time, hopefully, will be part one of my rundown of actual new releases. I'm not quite sure how many I've got, but there's two released today, which will come next week, and I'm not going to include those. They will be in August, but if I include those, I reckon I've probably got about 12 records this month. It is stupid, and they're some of them are absolute crackers. So anyway, more of that next time. Thanks for watching. Cheers.